Hey guys, welcome back. Today I've got a STIHL MS291 chainsaw. This is a very popular chainsaw, guys. Almost everybody has one of these. Now the issue with this saw is that it's running quite lean, and I think it's been doing that since the customer bought it new. They do come with restrictors on the adjusting screws. These carburetors, they are set lean because of the EPA, and I believe this is the only problem with this saw. You won't need a new carburetor to fix what I'm going to show you how to do today. You won't need a new carb kit either, or fuel lines or fuel filter or any of that stuff. The only thing that you will need that comes in handy is this small tool from STIHL here, and I will have the part number here in the video for you guys. So let's get right into the video. What I want to do here is start it up and just show you when it's idling, or I go to throttle up. Even when it's warm, it'll do this, guys. It's just not as responsive as it should be, and sometimes the idle is a little fragile, so it will idle sometimes and stall out. Even if you turn in the adjusting screw to make it idle faster, it still idles really lean and dies at times. Not always, but intermittently. And I can just tell it's running lean because I've been working on saws for many years. So let's get right into it. I'm going to take it outside, show you what it's doing. Hopefully you can hear this on the video. But anyway, the procedure I will show you today is easy to do, guys. Anybody can do this, and it's going to save you a ton of money from going to the dealer. All right, before I go outside though, here's a close view at the saw. It's got some wear on it, but not that much. There's still a lot of miles left on this saw here. 291, the 271 will be similar, then there is a 391. Pretty well what I'm going to show you today applies to all those models. They have the adjustable carburetor, not the M-tronic, so it gives you a bit of room. I'm outside here. I will start it up. I did have it running today, so it should start up quite easily. So it'll do this often. It'll start up like this. If you're not playing with the trigger, it dies off. So this is what I'm running across, just a bit lean. Okay, so this can go on and on unless I start it up and keep feathering the throttle till it revs. But you know what, guys, it's not good to use a saw if you're running it lean all the time. You can end up with scoring. So let's get right back into the shop. I'm going to show you that quick procedure. Okay, the first thing you can do, guys, is you can grab a slotted screwdriver, reach into the L hole here for the low adjustment screw on your carb. You can turn this counterclockwise all the way out. So I barely turned it, and it's already restricting me from going further out. So the trick here today is to turn out both screws just a bit. This will enrich the fuel going to the engine, and I'm not going to have that problem I showed you outside. Now if I reach into the high-speed screw, it's the same thing. There's barely any adjustment left, and then the screw is locked. So low speed setting, high speed setting, this is the idle screw. This does not affect your air fuel mixture, this one here. This is just a mechanical screw for the idle. What I do recommend now though is to take off the cover, because I will show you how to remove those restrictors without even removing the carburetor, and it's going to be quite easily with the proper tool. So here's your carburetor. Here are the two screws I was trying to adjust earlier. I'll give you a close look here. You can see that if I go to turn more counterclockwise, it's locked. So what we need to do is remove those two restrictors. I've got another carburetor here from the same saw. So this is what we're looking at here on the saw. Got to remove these two restrictors. Now if you don't have this tool here from STIHL, it's going to be quite a hassle to get them out properly. without taking the carburetor off. So here's the tool. I'll have the part number in the video description. This is the tool you want, 5910 890 4502A. Some dealers will sell it to you, some won't. Just go to a good dealer, guys, and get this tool. Now, the way to get these restrictors off, I'll show you on the other carburetor before I do it on the saw here. It's a lot easier to show you. If you look at the restrictors, you will see a notch right here. You'll see one there. What you want is that notch to be down here, lining up with these black little things. This one's already lined up here. And if it's not lined up, either turn it clockwise or counterclockwise like this. Grab your tool, and it's a left-hand tool. So just turn it in and just keep turning it in, tightening it in, and it will automatically pull the restrictor. Once you line up all the grooves, it's so easy to get them out. If the notch here is not lined up, it's going to get jammed up and you won't be able to remove it. So what I'll do is remove the air filter out of the way here. So here's that screw. The little notch I was telling you about is about here. So I will go in here and line it up with the black part right here that I showed you earlier. Now you might think there's not enough room for the limiter to come out, but I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to move the whole thing, the whole carburetor. So now I'll take the tool out. And remember, it's all reverse threaded in. And now you can just push on the carb and get this out. Now, my philosophy here is once I've removed a limiter, I do not put it back in. These screws are plenty tight enough in there, I do not believe they will ever move. Now, the small notch here again that we're chasing on the last screw is right at the bottom over here. So I'm just going to go in and bring it up. It's very important that you line that up, or else you will fight with that thing. You could even then end up breaking the tip of your tool inside the limiter, and then you'll have to take the carburetor right off and manually pluck it out. I've done it before, guys. That's why I thought, you know what, I better show my viewers this trick because it's going to save them tons of aggravation. So now I'm screwing this in. This one's giving me a little bit of a problem here. Not quite grabbing. So I'm going to go back. So it's possible you'll run across this issue here. Things don't always go as planned. So what may have happened here is when I screwed in the tool, I may have inadvertently turned the limiter and misaligned the notch. So just be careful about that. Now I'm going to double check that again. And I just want to show you the notch again right there. It's in the right position. But I'm having a problem, guys. I'm kind of glad this happened because at least now I can show you what to do if that happens. Now I have turned it. What I'll do at this point is just pop it in. It does want to come out. Okay, what I'm going to do now as a substitute tool is I'm just going to put a drywall screw in there. This is not my preferred method by any means, but I have gotten the screw tight in the limiter. And I've realigned the notch right here at the top. So what I'll do now is just pry that out. And I've got the limiter out. So I'm really glad this happened, guys, because it shows you your choices, your options, if the tool doesn't work for you. You could probably just use the drywall screw at the beginning of all this and do like I did, as long as you line up the little notch to this black thing. And now I'm just going to go in, get the limiter right out. And there we go. Now we can adjust that carb properly, and this is what I need to show you, because you will not be using a normal screwdriver for this. Okay, so what I'm going to use to adjust this carburetor is a number 2 metric Allen screwdriver, guys. Yes, Allen screwdriver for a carburetor adjuster. Fits right in there. So I'll show you on the older carburetor here, my number 2 Allen wrench, tiny wrench. See what's left after you remove the limiter is you got a screw in there. So now you can adjust it. So if you want it to run richer, you just turn it out. If you want it leaner, you turn it in. And if you get one of these, you can get whatever brand you want. I got a good one made in the USA from Eklund. What I did is I put a bit of paint, white paint, so then I know how many turns I'm doing. See, like if I have it here and I go all the way around, that is a complete turn, half a turn, etc. Very handy to have the paint marker so you know where you're at, and or you can paint it on the back of the tool. What I'm going to do with this saw is I'm going to go a full half turn on the low screw, which is the one up here. And the way I know that is because on the cover it tells you LH. Don't worry about this one. This is just the idle screw. It doesn't affect the air or fuel. So I'm just going to reach in. I'll leave my white mark here so you guys see that. Okay, and I'm going to go a half turn. Now the high speed, I will go about a quarter turn, not as much. I'm more worried about the low idle screw, because if that's turned in too much, your saw will not idle well. The saw did rev up at high speed once I feathered the throttle, which tells me the H screw was okay, but I did give it a little bit more because I don't like saws to be running too lean. What I will do now is put that air filter back on, go back outside, try it out and see if it runs better. And I will put the cover back on because you can still easily reach in there with the cover on, and the saw will cool better this way. When I go outside to start the saw here, guys, I will bring the adjustment screwdriver and a slotted screwdriver for the idle speed. If the saw is running too lean, I'll just reach in and turn it out a bit more. If it's not revving high enough at full throttle, then I'll turn the H in. If it's lean, I'll turn it out. But I think I'm pretty close the way it is because it wasn't that much off. Okay, here we go. I'll choke it up here. Okay, it's running a little too rich, guys. I've turned out the screws a bit much. I'll turn in the L screw a bit and probably the idle screw just a little bit as well. So what I'll do is just turn in the L screw a bit. Now it's a bit hard to line up that tool, so give it a quarter turn, and I'm going to add almost a turn on the idle screw, and then I'll tweak it. Tweak it once it's running. So the high speed is a bit slower than it. The high speed is a bit slower than it should be. So I'll turn that in just a tiny bit, not much. Just about got it. Now this one I will adjust while it's running at high speed. Sounds pretty good to me now. Let's do a quick start here. Idles on its own. Very responsive. And I forgot to mention earlier how far out the screws are turned. They are turned out approximately 1.5 turns on each. Now this may vary from saw to saw, guys, so just adjust it till it runs properly and not too rich and not too lean. Okay, as you saw, that worked great. Get those tools, guys. One last thing before I end off the video. The customer may not be using this saw for quite a few months. I'm going to dump out the mixed fuel pump gas that is in the fuel tank of that saw and replace it with some True Fuel 40-to-1. Now True Fuel also has the 50-to-1, but I prefer the 40-to-1. I've never blown up an engine, and neither has any of my customers using either one of these cans in their 2-cycle equipment. So I'll just dump the fuel out. This is what was in there when I adjusted the carb here. And the reason I like to use the True Fuel is because it has a really long shelf life, like a couple years once the can is open. And it does have some stabilizers into it, no ethanol, etc. I use it in all my own equipment. I personally use the 40-to-1 in all my 2-cycle equipment, guys. And I do have a STIHL combi with the 4-mix engine, which I'm not a big fan of, but I'm a strong believer in making sure the parts are well lubricated in that engine. Also, when you start up your 2-cycle equipment, guys, let it warm up for a bit before you go crazy on the throttle. That's it for the video today, guys. Make sure to check out these tools. I'll have the information in the comment section and the video description. If my video has helped you out today, make sure to like it and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Have a great day, guys.